Good morning and welcome to Mark Bajerski YouTube channel, the guy with the crazy tops, but not today. Maybe it might be a crazy top to you. How are you all doing? I look like a granddad, don't I? Look, matches. Oh Jesus, shut up Mark. How are you all doing everybody? How's life today? I made a morning chat this morning on Instagram. It seems to be shadow banned again. Everything that I'm doing at the moment is shadow banned. Long gone are the days where freedom was part of our daily life. Now everything is censored by algorithms and the black screen. But hey ho, that's the way it is. Ban a healer, speaking truth and health and well-being, but leave pornographic and child porn on and promote it. Kind of makes sense when you realize the world is run by satanic ritual abusers. And that's the bottom line. I know it's hard for you to digest or even believe, but there is a cult and it does run the world, and they are dark, and the likes of Karl Anal Schwab, the gates from hell, all of those that have been manipulated by the greed of money, and they don't care at all whether you live or die. They don't care at all whether you have food or you don't. All they care about is their greedy, heartless selves, and we are run by greedy, heartless, parasitical energies that really are the lowest of low. We are living in a cesspit of system governments globally, which now have turned into tyranny. They are now terrorizing good, kind, honest people who are just trying to wake up in the morning, feed their children and get on with the world. Well, they don't care for that. You've got to understand that these people who are in control are controlled by darkness, not only satanic, but very, very dark entities around the world. And it's been like this for forever. It's always been like this, and it always will be. And there are a small pocket of light workers in this world that share truth, and no matter how they get suppressed or locked up in prison or whatever happens to them, it's something that really can't be stopped. And the darkness realizes this. The darkness knows it can't stop light from coming out. It's impossible. And some people are more lighter than others, in the sense of some people are more stronger, some people are more warrior energy. And then you've got the other side of the light workers, the ones who pray daily, meaning that they send good energy to the ones that need it most of all, and those that heighten the vibration of the world, that tries to bring in some light along the journey where there is so much darkness and so much manipulation. So there are many types of light workers, and we should not reject one and just stick with another. We should listen to all light workers, as I do. There are many light workers in the world who are always pushing for freedom, pushing for your freedom, working hard to help you have what's little of what's left of freedom, to be able to speak, think even, and to be able to move freely in this world. Whereas you already know most of the global leaders are tyrannical. It's a dystopian future because they want us all inside, locked up. They don't want us to move. They just want to cause as much chaos as they can. And yeah, if they can, they want to make us sick and ill, because when you have a sick and ill population, it's easier to control. If you've got strong, free, and those who are willing to speak out against tyranny, that doesn't serve the darkness. And the darkness is interweaved into the parasitical government. And I think darkness is the system now. I think we've realised that. Within the system, there are people who try their best to help bring about love and higher consciousness and health and well-being. But predominantly at the higher echelon of a system, it's the pyramid effect. Right at the top, it's where all the darkness starts, and then it runs down, and then it's compartmentalized, so you never really know what's going on. One of the things I noticed, and I said on many radio shows, and when they said, how do we stop this? I said, it's easy. When you want to stop a parasitical corporation mainly, when you want to stop them, you just follow the money. So the problem is it's hard to follow it. It's hard to see where it goes, because the parasites know how to weave their darkness and manipulation. So how do you stop these entities, these dark energies? Well, follow the orders. So every child has to be, where did that come from? Who said that? I did. Okay, Mr. Doctor, come here. Why do you think that? Because I was told to. Okay, doctor, so you didn't say it, you repeated it. There's a big difference. Okay, who gave you that piece of paper to tell you what to say? Oh, that's here. That's so-and-so. Okay, let's go to so-and-so. Oh, so you're the, whoever you are, FDA, whatever. So you're the 3-letter company. Who decided on this? Can I meet you all? Okay, hi guys, all of you all sat here. Who decided to inject all these babies? Was it you? Well, there is a bit of an influence. So you agree to what's being done. That's different. Where did this come from? Where did the initial idea of babies, where did it come from? Who was it? Which person was it? Because one of you is going to prison. Who suggested it? Which one? Well, I was the one to start the suggestion. Okay, sit down. Where did you get the idea from? Well, I was influenced by a pharmaceutical industry. Why is that? Well, they were going to give me a bonus at the end of me being here, and they were going to put me into a job, and they were going to pay me $1 million a year if I put it out there. Okay, which pharmaceutical company? Those over there. Okay, we go to that pharmaceutical, parasitical death company and say, excuse me, death and destruction company. Why did you push that? Well, we feel it's a good idea. Yeah, but you say you feel it's a good idea, but you've got no data saying that this works, right? No, we don't. And we've been exempt, so you can't prosecute us. And yeah, I already know that, you clever slimy worms. I already know this. So let me ask you, was it you who made this potion, this vaccine? Well, no, we didn't make it. We're just producing it. Oh, so you didn't actually create that. So what's inside it? Well, we don't really know. We've got our little bits inside it, but there's a lot more going on inside there. Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Where did this information come from? Where were you told? Who told you to put that in there? Was it the scientist? No, they're just told what to do. Okay, so who was it? Well, it was that person. So now we're going to different people and finding out that it gets higher than the pharmaceutical scientist. It gets higher. And the more you go higher, the more it becomes a cesspit. And you realize this is all an agenda. Agenda 2030. I've been speaking about this for 20 years, exhausted, and stopped speaking about it. But when you start to see what's going on, when you start to hear what's happening and what they're trying to do now with the climate passports, which basically means you ain't going out, pal. Why not? Oh, you've been out. I think that's enough. And you're ruining the climate. Well, how can I ruin the climate by going out? Well, you're using your car. But what's my car got to do with it? Listen, pal. You're not going anywhere. You've used your carbon footprint to this week. You're not going anywhere else. Yeah, but I need to go and visit my grandma. She's ill. Don't care. You're not going anywhere. And if you do, you're going to get fined. Hang on a minute. This sounds like Nazi Germany again. Of course it is, because that's exactly what we want to do. We want to stop you from enjoying your life. We want to stop you from having your freedom. And we're going to shut you up and throw you in prison if you start talking. Now, you guys are watching this thinking this is heavy. But you don't realize what's coming. About 4 years ago, I said eventually everybody's going to be injected with something that's going to cause the greatest harm. And everybody called me, one of the things that I was called was a tinfoil hat wearer, and then I was banned from social media. My Facebook account deleted because I said there was going to be mass culling of the world. And the fact that those people that we talk about, where are they? Who are the ones who create this? Where does it come from? Some people call me in the Illuminati. But I think that word's been stolen. Like all good words, apple, it's been stolen. Apple is a beautiful fruit that heals 10,000 beautiful parts in your body. It electrifies your body, right? It's been stolen. Nobody knows what an apple is anymore. Oh yeah, they do. It's a phone. So everything gets stolen. All the good things are gone, replaced by AI technology and the lack of freedom. What once was, and we put up with it. I'm offended by that religion. No problem. Be offended. Yeah, it's my right to be offended. Now we're taking it away in the name of wars. Everything's a war. Why is everything a war? A war on drugs. A war on this, a war on that. Well, what about peace? Why don't you work hard towards peace? Why are you always buying guns and tanks and blowing the hell out of people? And why is the leader now of a certain country put in prison? And I'm no... listen, religion to me does what it wants, as long as it doesn't cause any harm to people. People have free will. But when you have a leader now who's going into Orthodox churches and basically grabbing this tyranny. It's a tyranny. Of course it is. Oh no, the Russians. Yeah, it's people. Stop calling them Russians. They're people like you and I. They're just born in a different country. This is brainwashing by the media, and you're buying into it. Everybody buys into what the media says. I've got Russian friends everywhere. They're beautiful. I've got Irish friends everywhere. They're beautiful. This is nothing to do with borders. This is to do with, like I said, those at the very top who are creating this, those that call themselves the Illuminati, the ones that you don't know about. And why are they doing this? Ultimately, it's darkness. Of course it is. Show me some light. Oh, but they're protecting. They're protecting because, you know, the Russians have done everything. They're going to... Oh, have you seen what the other leader's doing? Have you seen what he's doing? He's another tyrannical, sick individual. Oh, he's beautiful. He's a good-looking guy. He's wonderful. No, he's not. Look at what he's doing. Stop listening to what the mainstream media are propaganding you to believe. People just fall for it all the time. People just fall for anything that is on the black screen that they're told. I've been into a lot of churches in my life, and one of them is the Orthodox Church. I always feel somewhat a deep, deep peace there. Have I studied it? Not so much, but a little. What do I think about the Orthodox Church? It's probably one of the most balanced churches. But again, I'm not into religion, so... But I tell you what I'm not into. A man who controls a country with the blessing of America, sending money there so he can shut everybody up. So basically, the money that you're all sending him, he's basically shutting everybody up. He's using his army to go into churches and pull priests out and put them in prison. And nobody's saying anything. As soon as somebody told me about this war, I said, every war's a bank war. Always has been, always will be. And at the end of the day, it's all about money. It's all about power. But then, when you see all of that on one level, as if you're walking along in the street and you realize there's no food anymore. That's one level. But the other level, and that's the greatest level of all, is the level of energy. If you can starve a nation, if you can put fear into a nation, if you can throw people into prison, if you can shut them up, if you can brainwash them and put fear and tell them to do things that maybe eventually is going to be no good for them and they're going to be sick, like I said they would, then you've created the energy of darkness, fear. And that is something that I find really fascinating. And I've studied over these 2 decades of negative energy and how the world and how the stars and the alignment of those stars and the universe and the cosmos, there's something in this. So one of the beliefs is that the darkness, these dark forces, feed off negative energy. And it's a hard pill to swallow, and you don't want to swallow it. But what I mean by that, and it comes in multiple conversations, you can go down many paths with this, but the spirit, the soul that is within the spacesuit is very important to a lot of these parasitical leaders of the world. They realize that there's something in the in-between, and if you can create the in-between becoming more full, then there's something about this that the darkness feeds from, in the sense of not eating, but feels comfortable in. Anything that you can do, if you are of this energy of darkness, anything that you can do that will cause suffering or the soul being, let's say, trapped, which I talk about all the time, and nobody talks about this because they don't understand it, they've not worked in it, and there's something in this. If you take your life, if you've been poisoned, if you live in fear, if at the last moment of moving from this body and moving out of this body, there's something about that point that holds great weight in the world of what I see as the battle between light and dark. So I accidentally tripped into this. And what is that? That is spirit trapped in between 2 worlds. If you can create a world in between a world where there are trapped souls, you can create the greatest of negative energy that manipulates this world. So let's say the darker you make this world, the easier it is for the bully to flow. That's just an observation. What I mean by the darkness loves being in darkness. If you're shining a light, I'm going a bit deep here, but these things are important to understand. And I'll come to the happy ending soon, so don't worry. When your spirit is about to leave this world, there are certain things that can happen. There are, let's say if you leave this world with fear, a shock energy, if you've been killed, knocked over sometimes. These are the things that I noticed because I was being brought to main roads, I was being brought to motorways to help that spirit trapped there because of an accident. Because I've been to houses where people have hung themselves. Again, this is so relevant to understand this. When I'm there, you can feel the presence of a spirit, but not the spirit that you would say has moved into the light. This is a spirit that cannot move forward or back. It can't go anywhere. Does that spirit understand this? No, not really. it's kind of in a trap. It's kind of stuck, can't move on. So it thinks it's okay, but it's not. So the work that I did was try to speak to that spirit and help them back into the light. Once that's happened, the room in the house, whether it was the bedroom, whether they took the life, or the house itself, changes frequency. And there's been many a times that I've gone into a house and somebody's got like 2 cats. The cats don't go into the house. And then once that house has been cleansed and cleared, and that person that took their life is now able to move into the spirit world back home, the room is of good energy, the cats come back in. Fascinating, but it's true. So I realized through observation and my work that if you help spirit that's trapped in between 2 worlds back into the light, you change the energy, not only in the room, but in the area. And that energy can go straight out and it can affect half a mile. It can go on forever. It's so powerful, that negative energy. So you imagine that you cause chaos in this world, and there's so many spirits trapped in between 2 worlds. You know how many times I've been asked to go to Auschwitz to help the spirit trapped in between 2 worlds? So many times. Do you know how many people have actually been there to help spirit trapped in between 2 worlds release? There's literally thousands. I'm not the only healer who knows how to help people move back into the spirit world. I call them people because they are the spirit. They're like you and me. They're no different. They're just more trapped. That's it. They're trapped in between. That's why often you'll see they'll say ghosts always come at a certain time at night, and they react what they're going through, and it's a little bit like that. So there is no space and time. Spirit trapped in between 2 worlds doesn't know whether they've been there for a week, a day, an hour, or 200, 400 years, because there's no space and time when you move from this body. So it's not like it's bad, but it does cause a negative energy in that room or in that place, for sure. If you are of darkness and you understand this, then you're going to create as much darkness as you can. So there is again, I made a video not so long back, and there's another kind of new age word now that they're using. It's called harvesting souls. And I talked about this many years ago about CERN and how they are trying to manipulate and trying to understand the soul, weighing it, measuring it, realizing that the soul is within this spacesuit, and they're trying to manipulate it. They're trying to separate from the physical to the spiritual. They're trying to cut it. I think CERN plays a huge part in this new war on good and evil. And I think they're the hub of evil. It used to be the Vatican, but I believe it's CERN now. It plays the greatest of parts in what's going on right now, not just with HARP and DARPA and all of CERN and all of these other agencies that are all manipulated by those up there. Who told you to do that? Them up there. Who are they? Can't say. No, you can't, because if you did, we'd be able to stop this in an instant, because we'll know who that person is and how they are controlled by satanic evil agendas. But you'll never find out, and we won't. I doubt it very much. I think it'll just continue like this. That's the whole point, I guess, light and dark. Darkness is always going to try and manipulate people, and it will always tell you that there's not enough room in this world, there's not enough food. That is a bunch of crap, my friend. You go up into a helicopter and travel anywhere in any country and look how many houses there are and look how much land there is. You'll see that there's plenty of land. And excuse me, why haven't you even thought, Mr. President or Mr. Government leaders, why aren't you planting apple trees everywhere? Why aren't you planting fruits and vegetables in all your beautiful, perfectly manicured gardens and government property lawns and parks? Why aren't you planting food for people to eat? Keep saying there's not enough food. I could change that around into, but why are you spending trillions of dollars, which you couldn't even imagine, on nuclear missiles when you could be spending trillions of dollars planting trees, taking care of animals, looking after the people, taking them off the street and giving them help every day? Why ain't the trillions going into planting food so that we don't have to worry about, why, that's right, sorry, I forgot. That's right, you're all connected to big corporations that make trillions of dollars on people by charging more money every day because of the war. Electric, because of the war. There's always something. It's always because of something. Well, that something is basically a lie, a manipulation to scare the living daylights out of you so that you don't ask questions, that you don't fear. Let me tell you, there's enough energy for everybody. There's enough food for everybody. But what they do is they stop the food. A bit like at Christmas. There's only so many Xboxes. Hang on a minute. That's not true. That's a lie. Yeah, but don't tell anybody. Why is that? Well, if you can tell everybody that there's only a few of them, everybody's going to want them and then they'll sell out. And that's good, is it? Well, yeah, if you tell them that we've got loads, then people won't really bother buying them all, right? But tell them that we haven't got a lot and everybody will come. You're a manipulating, nasty company, aren't you? Oh yeah, that's what we do. We're all about manipulation. That's how we manipulate people. That's what corporations do. We manipulate people. That's how we make trillions. Maybe they should go and buy locally and stop buying off you. Oh, won't do that because we're going to stop all the small businesses. How are you going to do that? We'll figure a way. Oh, I think you already done that, haven't you? You've already shut down most of the businesses and you're even picking on people like me now who have online businesses. And now you're trying to stop me from shipping around the world. But yet you, Mr. Corporation, which is basically one or two corporations, which will one day be one, Amazon, don't forget the name. It's them up there that are controlling them. Same people that control the wars, same people that control the money, same people who control whether you're going to get your electric bill and how much it's going to cost. It all comes from one place. It's a game of chess that these people, there's a group of them, you could fit them in a room, they control the world. They control every form of the world in every way, whether that is to do with medicines, whether it's to do with food, transport, whether it's to do with electric. They control everything. They control the wars, they control the banks, they control all corporations, they control the police, they control everything. Everything. So when you ask the singular person, why did you do that? If you follow the order, meaning follow where it came from, where did that order come from? Where did it come from? Where did it come from? Not from me, from him. Where did it come from? When you find where it stems from, the cause, the root cause of everything that's happening, you can change the world because you get rid of that room out of the way. But then you will always think to yourself, will you get rid of them? Because isn't there another set of people waiting to take over? You look at any street corner with druggies, people selling drugs. There's always another one to take his place. So maybe to end this conversation, maybe, yeah, the world is a bad place. Yeah, there is people doing terrible things and love is not in control of this, because maybe love doesn't want to control any of this, because love is not about control. Love is about free will. Love is about expression, loving, sharing, kind, caring. The bully controls. The darkness manipulates. Love is just love. So love can't go along to the bully and say, stop what you're doing, because it's love, right? Love can't beat the bully up. Love can't fight darkness, because love and light is just that. So whether you live in love and light, or whether you live in fear and darkness, or you're a bully, they're two separate entities. It's like the spiritual soul next to the government, the politician. They're worlds apart, can never put them together. So it would be a difficult one, for sure. It would be a difficult one to change. So what do you do with that? Well, you speak your truth, like I do. You shine your light. You do the best you can do. You help as many people as you can. When people are ready, they'll ask, and then you share your truth. You don't force your truth. Love doesn't force itself on people. Truth doesn't force itself on people. Truth stands its weight. It doesn't need to bully. It doesn't need to be aggressive. It doesn't need to be forceful. Truth stands in its own energy. So if you're forcing stuff, you're not in truth. You're not in love. You're not in light. You're actually supporting the bully. So when people say to me, well, how do you get your point across? How do you tell people? It's difficult, because sometimes you can fall into the cesspit of what you're talking about. So that's the mastery of love and light, for sure. But ultimately, you've got to spend your day in positivity. You've got to shine a light for the people around you. You've got to make a difference. You've got to be kind and caring. And you've got to be smart. You've got to box clever. And I think each day we have to be stronger, because the darkness is becoming darker. And there's more darkness around, more and more. And the reason why is because people are buying into that darkness, that manipulation. Some people can't see. It's very hard to discern between light and dark these days when they're being brainwashed by a mainstream media which is filled with darkness. Most of it is so dark, it's no longer there to share with you truth. It's only there to share with you what it wants you to know. And anything that it doesn't want you to know, you won't hear. So there is no point anymore. Throw your TV away and do your own research. Look, ask, and you'll realize there's a whole new world out there. Boots on the ground. Talk to people who actually are going through that experience where they are. You'll soon find out that everything on the mainstream is a lie. Everything is a manipulation. Everything is to suit an agenda for those up there, those controlling, those playing the chess game. And they know every move. They know every move you want to make and every move the world wants to make. So we do our best. And we spend more time in love. We spend more time in light. We spend more time doing things that make us feel good. We help the people around us. We look after our body by eating correctly. We invest in the right food. We invest in looking after the people around us and others if we can. For me, daily, I try and help as much as I can. And I think that's it. What more can we do? I want to look back on my life, and I'm sure you do, and say I did my best. That's it. I think ultimately that's it. Why do we come here? To do our best. To look at our life and say, oof, you know, I did my best. I made mistakes, but I did my best. This is the best I can do. And right up to this moment, this is the best I can do. Yeah, I've made loads of mistakes. I've done a lot of good things as well, though. A lot of good things. Does it count? It's starting to. I'm starting to break free from the prison and the lies and the manipulations that my schooling and the system told me. That was a brainwash. Everything that I once was, I'm no longer, and I'm unlearning. You're never told to feel the gratitude of what you've done. You're just told about all the negative things that you should think about, all the worries and the fears that could, should, may happen. So I don't buy into that anymore. And when I'm hearing it 24/7 on mainstream, breaking your back, breaking news, breaking your spirit, breaking your soul, that's what it is, breaking news. Why don't they play it all day long, all the good things that are happening all over the world? Because it doesn't serve the dark agenda. The dark agenda wants you to be angry. You ever watched the first version, the first film called Ghostbusters? I think it was the first film, right? When darkness was coming into the world and it was going to change the world into darkness. But then all of a sudden, They didn't counter, that darkness didn't counter on the fact that it was New Year's Eve. And then all of a sudden, the whole of the world started singing to the New Year's Eve. And as they were all singing together, darkness exploded because the light is so powerful. But I think the telegram in that was that the world has to sing in tune. We have to raise our vibration and not live in fear, and all sing together. By all singing together and doing all we can in love and in light, then we change the world, and it can change in an instant. But if you can spend your entire existence, which the Illuminati, the darkness, they do, they live and breathe, and they work damn hard to lower the vibration of this world, to cause as much culling and killing and wars and destruction and famines and making it hard for you to live and enslavement and all the things that make it difficult for you to be angry all day long. You think that's just by accident? You actually think that just happens? You think, oh, well, that's just life. No, it's not. It was never like this. This is being manipulated by a few. And then the rest just follow on. And they cause so much pain. I'll give you a great example. You go to an airport and go to another part of the world. You see the destruction and the aggressiveness and the brainwashing of airports and how they make you feel. Horrible, horrible. It's like a dystopian nightmare. It's like an Orwellian book. It's like reading George Orwell. The awful, awful things that they oppose on people every day. And they look at you as if there's something wrong when you say, that's not right. This isn't right. This isn't fair. Everything, everything. What you got in there? Right. Bottle of, I think I've just bought it. Well, there's too much in there. You can't have it. Why? Because there's too much in there. Yeah, but it's just a bottle of cream. No, put it in the bin. Really? Everything is deliberate. Oh, but it's about saving people from bombing each other. Give me a break. Through here. No, I don't want to go through that machine. Sorry, it's an X-ray machine. I've done some studying and it's not good for you. What are you talking about? Get through or you're not coming in. Are you kidding me? I choose not to go through that machine. It's my right. I'm not going through it. I know how it works. You'll do a search. No problem. I'm happy about that. But I choose to not go through that machine. You just see how they react. You just see the anger in those people. You just see how they try and mock and make you feel bad. Oh, yes, all deliberate. And those that play the game, those that work in that, shame on all of you, that take away free will, shame on you, that you mock people who have a difference of opinion, shame on every single person that sticks needles into people's arms, shame on you, knowing that it's causing so much suffering. Yesterday, an MP was brave enough to stand up and say in the House of Lords that this latest poison that we've all been saying, be careful, he now has admitted in front of everybody that this poison that has been administered to millions and billions of people is now proven to be more dangerous than every single one of those poisons administered in the whole world prior. But we already told you this. We already told you. Many of us told you. If you had the time and you were bothered and you wanted to study and listen to all the other doctors, all the other scientists who were saying, hang on a minute, be careful. But no. And the problem there is that people have now chosen to turn around on their back and say, do what you want. I don't want to take control of my life. I don't want to do anything that I am responsible for. So now it's easy for darkness, because darkness says, don't worry, I'll do everything for you. You just sit there and shut up and I'll do it all. I'll look after you, don't worry. I'll take care of you. No, the bully doesn't take care of you. Don't say anything. I'll do the talking. Never ends well. Never ends well when you turn over like a dog and submit yourself to a nasty bully other dog. Never ends well. The one thing I am is truthful. The one thing I share is what I see. And I'm telling you, above everything, there is a battle between light and dark. And the only way to stop this is to start in yourself. That's the only way. Like I said, eat correctly. Clear the parasites from the brain and the gut. Start to attune by cleansing yourself daily. Absolutely. Drink parasite tea. Take the tablets for parasites. You'll be surprised how powerful you'll start to become, because you're not controlled by the parasites anymore, because the parasites do control. Clear away the negativity. Work on yourself. Look at yourself. All of these things make a massive difference in your life. Work on yourself. I guess that's it today. I'm wishing you all a lovely day. I'm sorry it was a bit heavy today, but there is some good news. On the 10th of December at 6 o'clock GMT Spain time, if you go to the Pure Energy Healing Academy YouTube channel, you'll find it. I'll put a link below. On the 10th of December, we are doing a global 45 minutes healing for anybody who wants to come on. This will strengthen, this will help you feel better, it will clear a lot of trauma, negativity. You'll feel much better at the end of it. Why? Because myself, Leila Sati, and many, many pure energy healers have agreed to come together to send healing to everybody who comes on for that 45 minutes. And I promise you, we don't do miracles, but we will do our best. So, looking forward to joining you on the 10th, 6 p.m. Spain time. Should be a very beautiful and powerful healing session. Share it with your friends. Tell your friends, anybody who's not feeling well, say, hey, look, there's a healing session taking place. Many healers are coming together to try and help heal anybody who's going through physical, mental and emotional, spiritual. What do? Just sit there, switch it on, and just close your eyes, and they do the work. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Take care.